the March kit is called No Matter the Weather. And these are the 3 projects that you can make as is with your kit supplies, okay? Now, this rabbit, I don't know if you can see him very well, so I'm going to move him in here. He was kind of my inspiration when I learned that this kit came with a bonus stamp set. So this kit, you got the regular stamp set that went with the No Matter the Weather, and that's the one that has the clouds on it. You got a bonus stamp set. It was celebrating, this is Paper Pumpkin's 7th year. That Stampin' Up! Has had this Paper Pumpkin monthly subscription program. And this bonus stamp set is super cute. You have rain boots, you have floral inserts so you can make your rain boots look like they're patterned. You have some little grasses, a flower pot, the solid image for flowers to go in there. You can also blend those into the grasses. This cool little door entry. Again, I don't know. Let me lay it against the back of the Paper Pumpkin box and see if you can see the images better. Let me get it in the light. But the little rabbit is so cute that came with that. And since it's coming up on Easter, if you have the Paper Pumpkin kit, you have an Easter kit. And that's what I'm going to show you for my first alternative project for March, is a really simple Easter kit. Now, the pieces that we're going to use, there are some pieces that are different that are not with this kit, but this is the card that we're going to make. So for it, I am using one of the Pale Pink scallop note cards. So that's a separate thing. If you don't have the scallop note cards, feel free to adjust this with a pink, just a regular Pale Pink cardstock, or even a white or a gray. You're creative, you can come up with it. The other parts we're going to use for this that are not part of the kit is one of our pearlized doilies. So it's got a pearl finish on one side and it's matte white on the other. We're going to use it with the pearlized finish upright. I've punched a 2-inch circle of basic gray cardstock. Again, you could use any color that you want. I just wanted something to give some background to my rabbit. And guess what? These 2 pieces come with the card, or with the kit, sorry. This is the Pale Pink little banner saying sentiment piece, and this is one of the rabbits. Now, if you've used all your rabbits to make the cards, the original cards in the March kit with the yellow liner, you can merely stamp the rabbit that comes in that bonus stamp set, cut him out, and use him instead of the little die cuts. You're also going to use the striped petal pink organdy ribbon on this particular card. And then the last piece is the petal pink lined envelope. So we're going to do something a little different with the envelope. I'm just going to take my paper scissors and I'm going to trim down on each side of the envelope. You could also trim it with your paper trimmer. For me, I just like the scissors better for this particular type of cutting. So I'm going to cut down both edges. I'm going to open that up flat. And now I'm going to take the scissors and cut the large white front portion of that envelope off, just following the natural crease line that is in the envelope. Set that aside. Now you're going to take and notice that that envelope, the width of that stripe matches perfectly to the width of the scallop note card already. So we don't have to worry about trimming it down to match the note card size. All we have to do is take our scissors and trim each of those white little edges off of the envelope. So do one and then the other. And then after you finish trimming both of the little white edges off, you're just going to go across the flap right at the crease and cut that off. So now you have a perfect, nice size piece of Designer Series paper, in essence, from that envelope liner. So you'll notice as we go ahead to lay that back down, save that flap on the envelope for something else, and you will notice that it's just slightly taller than you need it to be. So I'm laying that on there and I'm just eyeballing it, and you're going to end up cutting about a half. So you're just going to trim that down, and basically to whatever size you want. When I'm trimming layers, I typically try to have 1/8 of an inch, no more than 1/4 of an inch around my edges, unless it's something different like the scallop. So I'm going to go ahead and layer that on now. Just like so. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my ribbon in half, approximately, and I'm going to put a little glue dot in the center. So I'm looking at that. Whoops. Let me admit someone else is jumping on here. Tiffany, hi. Hopefully you can hear and see. Like I've been telling people, I will text you the direct link to sign up for Paper Pumpkin. And I will also, if you text me at 816-785-1551, and I will also be sending a full video of the whole time. So if you had to hop on and off, or if you can't see or hear something as well, don't worry, I will have the whole thing recorded and you'll be able to receive that. I quickly have done 2 of the alternate projects for the February kit. We just began the March kit, which is the No Matter the Weather. So I'm gonna I folded that in half with a little glue dot. Now I'm gonna lay it down right like so. And I'm going to take my pearlized doily, and I'm gonna just put a little bit of adhesive on there, and a little bit on the gray. And I'm just kind of trying to make that even to where that basic gray circle punch goes over there easily. And the next thing I'm going to do is add a couple of the dimensionals that come in this kit. Sometimes you get dimensionals, sometimes you do not. This particular kit had dimensionals in it, I believe. So I'm going to use the ones that came in it, and it will help lay that ribbon and keep it in place. I'm just going to lay that right so, like so. Okay, now, I love Little Bunny the way he is, but honestly, if you have a Wink of Stella brush, which everyone should have, I highly recommend this as a first purchase. It's fairly inexpensive, and it just blings everything out. Super easy. I'm just coloring over him. It's kind of like coloring with a paintbrush or the blend markers. And it just puts some glitter on there. And I will hold the whole project up again at the end, so hopefully you can see the little rabbit will be pretty blingy. And for him, you could use the big dimensionals that came with your kit. I'm just going to use the minis because I want to make sure I get one up in that ear area where it's very thin. So I'm just going to pop those on there. And then he just fits on just like so, however you want him in the center of that. Now for the last piece, we are using one of my most favorite Easter sets that's in the catalog right now, is this Welcome Easter. I just love these cute little characters. But for this project, I'm going to use the Happy Easter saying out of that. So I'm going to grab that out. I got to get on the ball and get my Easter projects finished for my peeps, literally. And I'm going to use the basic gray ink spot that comes in the kit. And I'm merely going to stamp that Happy Easter right into that pale pink tag. And I am going to go ahead and put it on with some dimensionals as well, because I want it on one side only. On the side with the H with the happy. That's where you need the dimensional. On the other side, you just need to put a little bit of your other adhesive. The reason I'm doing that, let me peel the layer off, is I want that Happy Easter to tuck up under the gray slightly. So I need it to adhere regular there, and because those other pieces are already popped up, it will be the right height. I only need to have the dimensional on this end with the H. So hopefully you can see that. Now I'm going to bring that card way up close. I'm going to tilt it a little bit. Hopefully you are able to see the sparkle on that little bunny. But it's super cute. And to think, I made that card from ideas that came in this. These were the original projects. And from that, I just created this card. So you don't have to necessarily, if you don't like the project that comes in your monthly kit, make sure you do something else with it. The one other piece that you could do is you end up, when you cut that piece of striped envelope, you end up with a piece like this. And I hadn't decided how to finish it off, but I hate to waste things, and you could save it for another card. But I decided I was just gonna, because it's the scallop card and those have the edge, I just decided to center it and put it on there so it's not like a blank white edge now showing. You get a little bit more of that stripe. So hopefully you really like that card. I love it. I'm planning to make a few more and use that as one of my Easter cards for people that I work with. So, whoops, just pulled my, I put a nice new paper on for when we started today. So that is the first project of the March Paper Pumpkin alternative. The second one is going to be a little difficult to show you the finish, but I'm going to. I loved how this kit came with a decorative box. So the box came like this with the girl in the boots. And I thought, I'd seen another demonstrator who talked about repurposing the box, and I loved her idea. I just tweaked it and made it my own. And another thing I had seen someone do, in fact, it was our CEO at Stampin' Up. She sent boxes, not these, but other boxes that she decorated with yellow cardstock. She filled them with all different kinds of yellow candies and yellow little mini hand sanitizers and different things. And she sent them to different departments that she works with at Stampin' Up. And she called it Sending a Box of Sunshine, and I thought, how cute would that be to take this box and fill it with yellow treats? But if nothing else, you could fill it with goodies for right now. You could fill it with hand sanitizer if you have extra to share. You could fill it with a crafting project, anything. Crafting supplies if you have a friend that has little kids at home. But this is the card that we're going to make, and I designed the card to where they would untie the twine. Oops, mine got in a knot. Uh-oh. Now I'll have to pull it off crazily. And then they open it, but the card is secured. So when you look at the Paper Pumpkin box, this is what it looks like when it comes to you. I just made the card, which is 4 3/4 by 6 1/2 is what I trimmed this card down to be. And then it fits perfectly in that little frame. So let me go ahead and show you how we're going to make that card. Again, this is one of the cards. If you look, this is this card base from the Rain Boots card over here, the orange Rain Boots with the flower and the rabbit. This is the card base I'm using. All I did was trim it down to 4 3/4 by 6 1/2. The extra pieces required for this particular project that do not come in your kit is a piece of yellow cardstock. And this is about 3/4 inches by 3 inches long right now at the moment. And then a piece of white. So this card I designed using the stamp set that came with it. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use these 2 little hearts. Let me lay that aside on my Stampin' Scrub. We're going to use these 2 little hearts. And I'm going to go ahead and put, they're so tiny, I doubt you'll be able to see them on here. But for this card, I'm going like this. So I looked at it like the Weather Channel grid, when you can see what the weather forecast is. So like this might be a day that's really dreary. It's getting a little brighter. And over here is going to be super bright with that sun. So I'm going to use it up vertically, up and down, or horizontal instead of vertical. So I'm taking the little hearts and I'm kind of putting them close together on my block. I'm going to ink them up with the basic gray ink that came with it. And then I'm just going to stamp them over in the gray section, randomly, however I want. And my idea with these, and now I'm going to change the position slightly and go back and do it again. My idea with these was to have them hopefully look a little bit like raindrops. That was my goal. So hopefully that's kind of the feeling you get from them, or that they look like little raindrops. So that's the first piece of stamping there. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and stamp the saying. You have 2 of these round stitched little circle die pop-outs that come with your monthly kit in this one. They are actually used on this middle card, is where they use them. But you know, if I want to use them on this card, I could just stamp my sentiment right there on that card and don't need it to be on this white circle. So we're going to use one of the white circles with the saying that says, wishing you brighter days ahead. Because whether it's actual weather or whether it's the fact that we're dealing with this COVID-19, people want brighter days and to be able to get out of their houses. And I just didn't press hard enough. So I'm going to steal my other one. If I mess that up, normally I would just turn it over, but I want to have the stitch look on there. So I'm stamping that. And then the other thing I'm going to stamp right now is the inside of the card. And I'm going to use the stamp that says, no matter the weather, we're in this together. So it says, wishing you brighter days ahead on the outside of the card. And then on the inside, I like to do center upper, because when I send a card, a lot of times I put the person's name up here, then there's whatever card sentiment, and then I write a note and sign it. So that's how I like that to be. And I am so crazily just realizing I didn't pre-cut this down. I thought I had, but that's all right. You will get the idea. The next thing that we're going to need to do is, that fell out of my kit for some bizarre reason. We're going to stamp the cloud. We are going to use the big cloud, and these clouds, interestingly thing about them, they're a distinctive stamp. And so they take on the color darker in places, and you don't have to make it darker. It will automatically do it. For example, I'm just going to stamp this on the slate, and I stamped it equally. And see how it puts the darker clouds down there at the bottom? It makes the clouds look darker. So it does all of that natural shading for you. I'm going to do another one in the gray granite. Clean my stamp slightly. And I'm going to stamp him. I just want a darker cloud on the darker side and a lighter cloud kind of in the middle. That's why I did it like that. And for that, I'm going to use our paper snips that I love, especially for this curvy stuff. So if you noticed on my card, the dark cloud, I cut the whole cloud out. And just cutting around it. And it goes pretty quickly. It has a little bit of fussy cutting to this card, but not much. Now this light cloud, I am not going to use the whole long cloud. So I just made up my own cloud shape when I got to here. I just decided to go on around and make it a little bit shorter cloud because I didn't want it to be identical. And the only reason I didn't use this other cloud is I don't like that shape of the cloud. It looks like smoke to me. So just checking on my stuff. So next, for the clouds, I wanted them to be dimensionalized. So again, you have those dimensionals that came in your kit. Make good use of them. Dimensionals is something everyone should have in their paper crafting kit. because I love the look of them. If you don't have dimensionals and you're doing a project, you can always make it flat, but I just always love the look of having it dimensionalized. So I'm going to put one cloud there, and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to put this other cloud kind of in the lighter. We're getting in blue. The gloomy clouds are going away. Now, what do I need this extra circle for? For the messy part. That's why I'm waiting till now to do it. I'm using Daffodil Delight, and I'm just using it with, because I'm trying to use as many pieces from the kit without extras. Now, you could punch a Daffodil Delight circle out of cardstock, absolutely. I'm just trying to get it on there and get it kind of even. And as it dries, it will even out. Then I'm going to put a little bit of snail on the back of that, and I'm going to put it up here. Please note that it is off the card. See that? And now I'm just taking my snips in there and I'm just trimming it to equal the card. For me, it's far easier to put the sunshine on the card and then trim it. And then I have that nice squared off piece. I don't have to worry about cutting that perfectly. If you do it that way, that's the cheat on how to make that sun like that. So now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to take the daffodil and I'm going to banner it. So up the center, from the edge to the center, from the edge to the center. You will always get a really good banner cut that way. And I'm going to look at it, and it's totally up to you. How much yellow do you want showing on your card and hanging out from there? So I'm going to trim mine down a little bit. And then the yellow just goes on flat to the card with your adhesive of choice. And then dimensional on your stain. These big dimensionals, I use fewer of them for whatever reason. When I use the small ones, I use more. I probably should use more on the big ones. And that is that card. Now, the last thing you would do is you would add your twine. And how I chose to do that is just run a little bit piece of adhesive on the back and secure my snell or my twine like that. Bring my twine up and tie it in a bow and trim that. And you have to kind of adjust your twine, get it laying where you want, and then you just adhese it onto your box and you're good to go. And if you don't have the box, okay, well, my bow, I didn't make it right, but that's kind of the look you're going for. Wishing you brighter days ahead. So hopefully you like that card as well, and it just fits into, it just fits the center portion of your box, like so, and you can fill that box and give it away. And fill it with anything that you want, or you could use it on any other box and fill it in as well. So that is the other project. So these are the two alternative projects for March's kit.